here with Team Legit. Today we've got another exciting product for you guys, another exclusive for you. We're really excited about this product. Just a quick note, we are sponsored by DragonLink, but today we're going to give you the first look at the new DragonLink V3 system. This is the advanced system, so we're going to try to give you guys a little bit of updates on what the new features are and what the new components are that go with the new DragonLink. As you guys can see here, we've got the DragonLink version 3. The case, the outside case, looks very similar to the previous DragonLink V2. Alright, going into a little bit of detail about what these different things are on the transmitter. First, you've got a couple mode switches here. You've also got a pot up here on top. You've got your standard SMA antenna jack right here. You've also got a couple LEDs now, A and B. You've got the menu button, or previously was the bind button, and then you've got another 3-position switch right here with the little antenna indication right here on top. We'll get a little more into detail about these. Flipping the actual transmitter upside down, you've got now input 1, input 2. So if you're running a standard transmitter, you can plug your input into here. For your head tracker or secondary transmitter, you can plug that into there. You've got a USB micro slot right here for quick firmware updates and to change parameters in the new GUI that's available in the graphic user interface. There's also an SD card reader here, and then you've got a little protrusion of a device right here. This is actually a Bluetooth module. So the transmitter itself is pretty much the same case as the previous one, like we said earlier. Not too many changes there, it's just the capabilities of the actual transmitter. Real quick, I want to show you guys a couple of the receivers that will be paired with these guys. You can use the DragonLink version 2 12-channel receiver. However, these guys are going to be the new receivers to be using with the DragonLink V3. This is the DragonLink mini receiver, and I call it mini because it's got the 8 PWM pins along with a couple port and expansion things like that. Looking on top here, we've also got the same USB micro interface for you to do those updates and things like that for the firmware. This guy has an SMA connector, so if you want to mount this maybe inside your aircraft and then run the antenna out on the wingtip or somewhere else for that auxiliary mounting of the antenna, this guy will accommodate that. Next, we've got the new micro receivers. These are the micro receivers, in my opinion, because they're a little bit smaller in form factor compared to the mini receivers. You've only got 8 pins total. There is no 8 rows of 3 pins. It's 8 pins total. And the pin out for these guys is going to be your ground, power, PPM, RSSI, and then channel 1 through 4 of the PWMs. However, everything besides the ground and voltage is fully programmable. You've got your USB port right up here on the top, so you can go into the GUI and change all the parameters. So if you want to run 6 PWMs, you can do that. If you want to change the PPM or the RSSI to a different port, you can do that. And there's also a couple other features we're going to get into here shortly. Guys, going back to the transmitter, this is the most advanced UHF system out there currently, and from what we can see in the near future. This transmitter now does two-way telemetry. So basically what you can do is power your transmitter and control your aircraft like you would normally. However, the 2 new receivers can send telemetry back. If you've got Mission Planner, you basically could use, in the future upgrades, plug into an expansion port or use any of the PWM pins and reprogram them as a data pin and have this receiver send information back to the transmitter. So you've now got the two-way telemetry on the 433 megahertz band. How did they do this? The geniuses over there at DragonLink have come up with a really nice protocol and way to compress the data and send it back fluidly through the 433 megahertz system. Another thing you're going to be able to do soon is plug a GPS. DragonLink is going to provide us with a GPS that can be purchased separately, and you can plug it directly into your receiver. You can have all of your GPS information, your latitude, longitude, your altitude, your distance. You can have all that being sent back to you via the receiver now and plugged into the actual data port. Furthermore, those guys running APM, Vector, and other OSDs, there will be some expansion cables where you can plug that OSD directly into the receiver or into any of the PWM ports to transmit that telemetry data back to the actual transmitter, so you can use your existing OSDs, the existing GPSs on those devices, and you can get all that sent back to your transmitter. Now, the new transmitter allows you to do several different things with that data coming back. One, you can put an SD card in here and enable data logging, so all the information that's coming back to your transmitter can be logged onto your SD card. Furthermore, instead of having a display device or anything built onto the actual transmitter, you've got a Bluetooth module. All those guys that got those smartphones, the iPhones, the Androids, the computers with Bluetooth enabled devices can now see all of the telemetry data coming back to you on an external device. So for example, if you've got your transmitter mounted up here and you're flying out there, you're not going to flip your radio over to see the information on the back. You can actually mount a maybe your Android or your Apple device onto your actual transmitter, and you can see that information coming back. Also, if you wanted to control the aircraft via Bluetooth, so for those guys who like to set those missions and set the aircraft to do different things, you can now send the commands directly from the computer to the Dragon Link, and the Dragon Link will forward it onto the aircraft. So you've got a very nice two-way communication, no longer needing the 900 megahertz, the RFD 900, or the APM 900 megahertz transmitters to send the info back. The transmitter will do that for you. Just a quick note for you guys, Dragon Link, I know this question is asked all the time, does not have anything to do with your video. Dragon Link does not communicate video downlink for you guys. It's only telemetry and two-way control. All right, if you guys want to get in here, I'm going to give you guys a quick tour and show you how the new Dragon Link powers up, all the cool little noises and things that it makes, and a couple other features included with the new system. I'm going to use the provided Spectrum cable. As you can see back here on my DX18, I've got a power lead coming out of the LiPo that powers my transmitter. So I'm simply going to connect that guy to there. So now we've got power going into the power input. When we plug the Dragon Link cable into input 1, then plug the PPM cable into my transmitter, the ground is now connected, therefore powering on the transmitter and my Spectrum radio. Alright guys, as you can see, there is a green and red LED now. What the green LED means is that it is receiving a valid PPM signal from my transmitter. However, the red light here means that it does not have a connection with the receiver. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and power up one of the receivers. Ready? Alright guys, let's go ahead and show you guys a couple of the different steps and procedures you would do for binding and the new features that the Dragon Link version 3 does. Binding is similar to the version 2, same thing where you power it on holding the menu button. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. So we're going to go ahead and plug this in, which will activate the Dragon Link and power on the transmitter. As you can see, solid green light means it's binding. You'll hear some beeping saying that it's in binding mode. We're going to go ahead and power on the receiver. The receiver will get a green and blue light, meaning that it has made a connection with the transmitter. Then we're going to go ahead and power cycle. So everything has been turned off. As you guys can hear, when I disconnect the trainer port, my transmitter turns off, so does the Dragon Link, because I've only used the power cord here. So we're going to go ahead and power this guy on. We've got a solid green light and a red light saying that it's waiting to connect to the receiver. As you can hear, we've got beeping saying that it has made the connection. Solid blue light on the micro receiver, solid blue light on the transmitter. Now, in the previous versions, the blue light would flash indicating that it has lost packets or bad connection. Same thing is now on the version 3, where if this blue light is flashing, you have an issue that you need to address. And on this guy, if you're getting flashing blue lights, it means that it's losing packets on the incoming side. Alright guys, let's show you a couple of the new features for the transmitter. I disconnected my receiver, and as you see, the red light went on, meaning that it has lost the incoming transmission. But that's okay. I'm going to show you guys a couple of the different things that happen now on the new Dragon Link transmitter. As you can see, we've got power mode switch. This can be programmed in the GUI to adjust the power. So if you want to go, before you would go with high and low, now you can adjust the power output. I've got mine set to 100 milliwatts, 200 milliwatts, and 800 milliwatts. However, there is going to be a new firmware coming out very soon where this will become obsolete. You can set the transmitter to auto, which what we'll do is as it sees that it's losing packets or the telemetry coming back, it will increase the power and manage it automatically for you, so you don't have to worry about which power mode you should be in. That will then free up the toggle switch. Now, another new thing that's very, very unique to the Dragon Link is the actual 3-position switches, and the pots can now be programmed to do different functions. So if you wanted to, say, add a drop system on your 6-channel transmitter, you can now program this to a 3-position switch. Gears, if you've got flaps, you can now make this that switch. Some of you guys may have gimbals and you may have a pan or a roll that you can't use because you only have 2 sliders on your transmitter. You can now program this pot as an output as well. And furthermore, once the firmware is available to do the auto power, you can disable this as your power selector and have a third 3-position switch. So if you have those aircrafts with the candy drops and flaps and gears and you need those extra position switches, you can now do that on your actual Dragon Link transmitter. These buttons basically act as the switches and the channels on your actual transmitter or your radio, whatever you have. So those guys that were using the DX8s, you were limited to 8 channels. Well, guess what? You now get an additional 3 channels to control. Furthermore, the input number 2 can now be fully programmable. Some of those guys that were running, let's say those DX8s, where you only get 8 channels out of your radio, well, you've got 9, 10, and 11. If you want to program 12 on the last position, you can do that as well, or you can program 9, 10, 11, and 12 onto the input here. That would be for somebody maybe running a dual camera operator. So you've got one guy plugged into the transmitter, actually controlling the aircraft. The other guy is now programmed for the other channels that you assign, maybe for a gimbal or a 360-degree turning camera. All right, guys, this concludes your first look and tour of the new Dragon Link version 3 advanced UHF system. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you guys click the like button to stay up to date with the latest and greatest in FPV. Don't forget to click the subscribe button. And some of you guys may notice that the surroundings and the backdrop is a little bit different. Well, we have now moved into a new warehouse. We have a much bigger space, so we're going to be bringing you guys a lot more videos. We're going to try to up the production value as well too, and try to bring you guys all the best in FPV. If you guys haven't checked out our website yet, it's www.team-legit.com. We should be having these systems and a lot of really great FPV products on our site very soon. And if you guys are in the Los Angeles area, please look us up, check us out. Our Los Angeles store is called N Hobbies. We're located in Monrovia, California, and we'll have all that information for you guys on our website, and I'll put the additional information in the description below. And as always, guys, I'm Johnny with Team Legit. Thanks for watching. Alright guys, we've got the 2 top LRS systems on the market right now. The reason I say LRS instead of UHF systems is because the TBS Crossfire is running on a different frequency rather than the Dragon Link version 3, which is running on UHF. So today we're going to give you guys a breakdown and we're going to compare these 2 devices. Stay tuned.